Hey everyone, this is Zeeebo and welcome to this AFK journey video. So in today's AFK journey video, we're gonna break down the most big brain Guild Supremacy team in the game so far. And it is a mixture of new units as well as your brand new factional talent mechanics. So first of all, this team is the Hyper Carry Sinbad team. So this team is done by Rickettsia. But let's break down why this is a big brain team. So first of all, we're going to link Sinbad to the twins, which will give you a whole ton of buff in terms of your haze buff, as well as your haze stacking from the hero focus, right? So this stacking increases the haze of Sinbad, and on top of that, you'll get all this good buff over here in terms of your energy regen as well as your vitality for the heals itself. But it's not so important because you won't have issues surviving against this boss. But more importantly, it will be for the energy regen for Sinbad to spam the ultimate itself. And on top of that, you get additional stat buff. So all this is gonna mega buff your Sinbad. And the haze buff of Sinbad actually allows Sinbad to spam his ultimate to do even more damage, because his ultimate will increase in damage with the additional attack speed as well as haze stats. So that's why the Sinbad is mega buffed right here. And on top of that, we are going to use a physical centric team, which means that the Mauler factional talent will give us a little bit more damage from the factional talent right here, from the 230% physical damage. But what's more important for this factional talent is actually the stat here. So I just realized that there's this energy regen on hit. So what this means is it helps with the energy cycling for Sinbad as well, for Sinbad to spam the ultimate. And that's where, when you have so much haze stack on Sinbad as well as the ability to spam the ultimate from the energy regen, you are able to spam his ultimate so much more to do a lot of damage. And for the other hero of a choice, we have Starshot Spell. So initially I was wondering, why not use Harmonic Spell, because Starshot Spell has such a low stats. Then I realized in this build, because we have the energy on hit, we are able to regenerate energy a lot faster. On top of all the good buff going on us, we are able to spam this so much that the true damage coming out from Starshot Spell is able to do a lot. So it is actually really incredible when I first saw the replay for this run over here. And then for the supporting cast, we have Mikola, Honor Arena buff, as well as the melee buff from the Courage Sphere, which will enhance the haze of Sinbad even further. And then we have Shakir, where it transforms into the Lupine Aura attack buff, as well as haze buff to buff Sinbad even further. Then we have Kruger for the Mauler attack, as well as the physical defense debuff to fit into the whole physical team. So without further ado, let us showcase this team and showcase the damage breakdown. Let's go. Okay, so I will also be talking about some other team ideas by other players shared for this boss, but I think specifically for this boss right here, honestly speaking, the inclusion of twins as well as all the season mechanics makes Sinbad a lot better, right? This is one of the mechanics affecting a unit to make the unit meta kind of performance, which is incredible. So you can see my units being able to spam their ultimate a lot, and this triggers the Starshot Spell for a lot more true damage with the Starshot Spell ability right here. So this is the reason why Starshot Spell is used instead of Harmonic Spell. So Harmonic Spell does give you more buffs, but because we have twins in the team to cycle through the ultimates really fast, we are able to spam the ultimates on all the units and then get more damage off the artifact side of things. So that's true damage. True damage does a lot. And then we have the physical damage side with all our physical attackers with all the haze buff. So looking at the positioning of all the units, you can see that the initial position was to allow Shakir as well as Mikola to maximize their buff on as many units as possible, especially buffing up Sinbad in terms of the team performance itself. So very powerful team right here. Really incredible in terms of performance. Insanely big brain with the brand new seasonal strategy itself. So this is the damage distribution with regards to this team. So you can see the Sinbad just being hyper buffed up by this synergy over here, and it is probably going to be the strongest team for quite a bit for the Guild Supremacy side until an even more insane combo comes about. Because for the Guild Supremacy boss itself, I think generally speaking, the bosses like damage composition or the damage composition that the boss is weak to, they don't change too much. So if OD is good in the early game, chances are OD is going to be really good later on as well. So if there's no better buffing mechanics that could make other units better, or there's no better units incoming in the future, I think this could be the best team to come in quite a while for Guild Supremacy this season. Okay, so this is Zeeebo in Analytica's Discord, so I'll link it in the description down below. So for the GlyphShade boss over here, like I mentioned before, I don't actually get to touch the boss a lot, so I will be referring to the other team options provided by the different players, infographic done by Metal right here for the different team ideas that you guys can use. So for those of you guys who are going after the best of the best, the first one by Rickettsia is the best one for all the different synergies I mentioned earlier. Insanely big brain. So that's that. Credits to the big brain guy having his exams. So next one we have Cassidy together with our Sinbad and Sonya. This will give you the light bearer factional talent to summon for Hogan. So I will be really honest, I'm not too sure how well the different teams perform. But based on the stars given, I think this would also be a pretty decent team if you have all these units right here. So that would be for the light bearer side. And then we have the more budget friendly one with the Maulers as well as Sonya and Sinbad right here. So this one is the OD together with like your melee cores from the earlier teams with the buff from Sonya right here with Harmonic Spell. So I mean not Harmonic Spell, Overcharge Spell over here. So that's for the artifact option. So Overcharge Spell will give the energy to Kruger for Kruger to transform earlier, for him to buff up the team faster as well. And then OD in this position will be teleported in front for OD to actually benefit from all the auras as well as the melee buff. So this is also a pretty sound team on the theory side, but I haven't had an opportunity to test it myself. So that is for the Sinbad Mauler teams. So we also have the twins variants. We have the Lily May variants as well, as you guys can see right here. So this is buffing up Lily May. And then let's go into the subsequent part. So we have this one, Talon together with Reyna. So this one is relying on the Celestial Hypogean Tau right here. 2 stars as well, so I'm assuming it's decently good, I guess. not very sure, because like I haven't run any of this except for maybe the Sinbad one and maybe this OD and Sonya one. Yeah, so for the OD Sonya one, I think I ran the old Wilders combination right here. So I ran the very old combination from the previous season. So this was from the previous season. This is the Wilders factional talent over here. But I think this one is not as good this season, because Wilders factional talent this season is not as good for bossing purposes. And generally speaking, Brian lost the debuff. And Parisa doesn't offer that much more compared to whatever the other Maulers can offer. So I guess this one is probably phased out already. Then we have the Mauler combination right here. Okay, Florus, Reyna and Maulers. And then we have all the twins one, and then we have the Maulers one. So this is without twins. So this one, I think Sinbad is not as strong on the hyper carrying portion, because you lose quite a bit of those haste stacking on top of Sinbad right here. So that's that. But generally speaking, I think this team should all be really solid, provided you have your units built up for the maximum stats for damage, surviving, or debuffing purposes. So that's pretty much it. Z-Best, or not Z-Best, the D-Best GlyphShade boss right here. Big brain Rickettsia with all the different combos and synergies. Thank you very much for tuning in. If there's any update for a battle team, I'll showcase to you guys, and I'll see you guys again in my next video. Bye guys.